loved this world that he gave his only Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Believe. I wanted to start off with that because what I'm about to talk to you guys about is pretty much. Okay. Shakur Stevenson put on an adult film. I made sure you can go. Defense was pretty tight. Most of the shots that they said Conceição was planning on Shakur had slightly deflected or were blocked when he flipped under. Um, Super sharp. Even though he didn't make weight, even though you see down the stretch, for conserving his energy, he was pretty sharp. He wasn't throwing as much coming down the stretch. He was definitely in the zone, and boy, was that a beatdown. When Conceição got beat up, that was a that was a straight up beatdown. Conceição basically was running on wheels from round four all the way to the end of the fight. Veteran moves, smart moves. Go left hook. This is a highly qualified fighter. Uh, the betting was a lot higher than this was going to show. And actually, we saw Conceição towards round number nine walking down Shakur flip for flip. But he was getting beat up. He was going to get stopped. I thought one or two punches and he would get stopped. But Shakur, a couple things he did that gave him all of the game plan. So one of the things he did, he started with the jab, going after one mistake, and he abandoned the stick. He didn't even know he knocked down Conceição. He was so in the zone. He just wanted to beat him up and really put a beating on Conceição. Um, Walked him down for almost the entire fight. Landed some really nasty, sharp body shots, blinding Conceição again. So he stayed controlling Conceição, keeping Conceição from throwing punches back. He won that by controlling the weak hand of Conceição and together allowing him to backhand Conceição. Getting in clinches, like beautiful body shots from the inside, really ripping body shots from the inside. His full punch combination was just really land. Just a tremendous performance by Shakur Stevenson, despite the fact that, down the stretch, he was feeling that like Conceição got to get back in the fight. The other thing is, he really pressed the gas in round five, six, seven, eight, and seven. He tried to really press the gas towards the end. I think it was around round eight and nine. Conceição got to get back there and finish the fight. Now, I got to say something about Conceição. He would have got a harder chance. He was gassed. Those body shots took a lot out of him. He looked like he was going to get stopped. Um, Nice veteran moves, moving in with the head, with the chin, locking up. He hit a nasty body shot, locking up. Also, putting all of his body weight down on Shakur and pushing him forward to say, "I'm going to be the strongest guy in here." Uh, uh, Shakur is the strongest, but this is when you always throw veterans back in. Sometimes boxing on the back foot, sometimes fighting boxing on the back foot. It's a different thing. Some simple planning. Shakur started to look for that one-shot power with Conceição. He never went for the one-shot knockout artist. In fact, most of his fights are stopped through accumulation of punishment, and the referee saying, "Okay, okay, he's not knocking a guy completely out, even though he has the power, and we saw it." One of the things Andrew Ward, who's very critical of Shakur, said, which is very true, is that sometimes you have to change up the cadence, or as we say, change up the rhythm of your shots, and not put heat on everything. He was bringing everything hot, so Conceição was kind of starting to anticipate the power because initially when he was ripping up Conceição, Conceição wasn't used to the power. He didn't know that Shakur had so much power, which leads me to a couple of comments that I listened. Two haters on hated the fight. One was Raleigh Romero, and the other one was Teddy Atlas. And I didn't expect this from Teddy Atlas. Uh, Teddy Atlas is saying that Shakur has no power. That's bullshit. First of all, that's bullshit. Conceição started going survival mode, and he was clinching. He was coming in with his head. He was coming in with his elbows, and so Shakur now had to make an adjustment to that. Okay. Um, it wasn't that Shakur doesn't have power. Shakur has power, just like Devin Haney has power. Okay. They don't necessarily have one hitter quitter power. Like they don't have natural power. The bone density and stuff. They're not going. They don't hit you with a shot that they didn't really put everything into and knock you out. Right now, everybody knows the shot that you don't see coming. That's what knocks out a fighter, generally speaking. But and they're not KO artists, so they don't set up the knockout like that. But mind you, they do have power. Okay, and another thing is, it's actually better if Conceição had gotten knocked out than the beating that he took, because he just aged in boxing age. He just aged a lot. He took a he took a beating in that fight. Now, as he was taking the beating, and a savage beating of that, very vicious. Shakur was very vicious in this fight. Um, as he's taking the beating, what I got to give Conceição props for is how he changed. He went into survival mode at first, and then he changed gears and he started fighting back. Three, four, five punch combinations, and some of them was hitting Shakur. Um, and he really got aggressive. He tried to push Shakur back, and he started countering at certain times, even though he was missing a lot. Um, and you saw the fight in him. He was fighting now. He wasn't boxing anymore. He was fighting. And that's something in Conceição that they can build off of. First of all, they need to get him, let him recruit, his body recruit, and work on that. Because he was a live dog straight from round one to round 12. You got to give the guy props. And he is a quality fighter. I mean, you can see in the chess game, he had the long reach and everything, but in the chess game, you can see he's up to the task. He makes it competitive. Um, and of course, this guy beat Vasily Lomachenko, as my boy Aki Sports TV said, in the amateur. So, I mean, he ain't no pushover, but Shakur made it look like, this guy don't even belong in the ring with him, right? And he was, I mean, just manhandling. He's beating him up real bad. um, but having said all of that, Teddy Atlas, if Shakur ain't got no power, like you're saying, because this ain't no chump, and y'all gonna see it in the future fights, he's gonna get better for this fight. He ain't no chump. He might become world champion. Okay, Conceição might end up becoming world champion. Now, here's the thing. All right, and he didn't come to lay down. Definitely not. Here's the thing. If Shakur is so soft, he's got pillow hands and stuff. Why is he walking when he's so arrogant? Why is he walking like that? And for dumbass Rolly Romero, who was trying to troll me, um, my question to you is, we all know you want to try to get a fight with Shakur. That's what it is. My question to dumbass is, so if you don't see a knockout in any fight, then that fight should. That's what you're basically saying. You know. So Shakur, he ain't got no power, right? He ain't got no power. He not got a man. He ain't got to worry about that. But you come out the ring beaten up, with the organs busted up and everything. Right? You come out the ring beaten up. That's what you want. You want to ass whooping from round 1 to 12? I don't think so. I don't think so. Probably not. I don't think so. Yeah, so basically, I'm saying, obviously. Now, Errol Spence and Andrew Ward, not so much got it. Obviously, the weight class is very much right. And he was trying to get Shakur out of there round 1 to round 12. But I think he tried too hard. I think he was trying to do one shot like that. But Errol Spence is younger. Errol Spence is like 24 years old. The thing with it is he's very sharp. Real hard. A lot of it. You can't see what I'm saying. You gotta get his speed up. You know what I'm saying? Because that pressure coming from him is gonna slow him down. pit Shakur against Devin uh, because it's top rank. So if he could get that fight, he would do it. You know what I mean? Devin's a little bit bigger. He's a little bit longer. That might work in his favor as well as might not work in his favor. Shakur, so freaking sharp, man. The dude's sharp from round 1 to round 12. Even though he was not throwing as much coming down the stretch, I guess he was looking for that one-shot knockout as well as I think the wear and tear on his body from trying to make weight. Probably, down the stretch that it really affects you. You know what I mean? But hell of a fight, man. Hell of a fighter, man. Shakur can fight. He can bang. He's very systematic with what he does. He doesn't have a problem taking a shot either. Tough, rugged. I mean, good fight. Of course, we all would have loved to see the KO, but once you see, there were two things he did wrong. Why he didn't get the KO? He would have gotten the KO. He had everything to get the KO. But there were two things he did wrong. He didn't listen to his corner when he said, pop the jab. He abandoned his jab and he started beating him up. And then two, he was looking for that one punch. He was looking to try and knock him out with one shot. It don't work like that. I mean, he was still doing his thing. He was going to the body and stuff. Now, but there's another thing that Conceição did that was he got used to Shakur's sort of rhythm, like I said. So he was able to sort of nullify it to some degree because he had seen those shots, right? The uppercut down the center, he was able to block it. He started to make adjustments. So Conceição actually made some adjustments to Shakur, and Shakur was still doing the same thing, which is why Shakur had to stop doing what he was doing and try and think now as to how he could be more effective throwing shots, because Conceição had become defensively minded. He wasn't so much offensively minded. He was still throwing things, but he was more trying to protect himself. He was busy worrying about incoming. So that was one of the reasons, again, why he didn't stop him. But we saw the stop. I saw the stop. He was like 2 or 3 punches away from stopping Conceição. He was really close to getting the stoppage. It just, he changed modes and he was just trying to seek and destroy with one shot. And you can't do that. You have to throw 3, 4, 5 punch combinations, which is basically essentially what Teddy Atlas was saying. This kid is not a one-punch knockout artist. Not that he can't punch. He obviously can punch. Everybody, most of these guys in boxing, these top-level guys, Floyd, all these guys, they can punch. Okay, you ain't making a guy go on the back foot, moving all around the ring and shit if you can't punch. Okay, so they all can punch, but I think what they mean is he's not a one-hitter quitter, right? Errol Spence is not a one-hitter quitter. Okay, it's accumulation of punishment. Terrence Crawford's a one-hitter quitter. He got good power, man, and he sets up his knockouts. Deontay Wilder's a one-hitter quitter. All right. Canelo, he can knock you out with one shot if he sets up his shots, right? But Canelo didn't knock out Triple G, right? He didn't knock out Triple G. Well, Shakur didn't knock out Conceição. Nobody's ever knocked out Conceição, okay? I don't know if anybody ever dropped Conceição now. Nobody ever beat him up like that. And then nobody's ever knocked out Triple G, okay? So, it's weird hearing guys like, Teddy Atlas who don't understand the level of boxing sometimes. Because why I say he don't understand, or he does understand and decides to put that shit out that he just said. Because Teddy Atlas said some stupid ass shit that I just don't understand. Conceição is a top tier, top level fighter who will become world champion. Okay? Shakur made him look ordinary. Shakur made him look like he didn't belong in the ring with him. And made him look like he was surviving. But this is a top level guy, man. And this guy's going to become world champion. Guarantee you that. Okay, and the fact that Teddy Atlas doesn't understand that, maybe it's because ESPN did a crappy job of saying who Conceição is. Conceição beat, in my opinion, he beat Oscar Valdez, an Olympian. Okay, so Conceição ain't no chump. He ain't no chump out there, and he know what he doing. It's not like you can just stop this dude like that. No, he's a smart fighter, and clearly he has veteran moves. Okay, he's a smart fighter, and he knew what to do. And so, you have to give this guy his props. Like I said before, Conceição, And Shakur didn't go in the ring with no chump. This is not no chump. This is a guy who I believe is going to become a future world champion. All right, Conceição is that kind of dude. Yeah, you get you getting your ass beat up. I mean, he was getting beat up. Okay, y'all. You suck it down. You bite down on that guard because he's getting an ass whooping, right? And you fight back. Now, this dude has the heart of a champion. He gonna become a champion for that because this is not Shakur. Shakur is sharp. Shakur will light you up if you make a mistake. Okay, that's the guy he's facing. Sharp as hell, and he makes it 12 rounds. Now, because Shakur has been going 12 rounds with various people, people say he can't punch. I'm gonna tell people right now, don't go in there with that energy because Conceição probably went in with that energy thinking he could just, bully Shakur, and he got his ass beat up. Okay, he got beat. He got beat the hell up. Okay, and Shakur is bigger. He's stronger. He's going up to 135. He's gonna be a force to reckon with at 135. Maybe he won't face Devin Haney immediately, even though Bobby might want that to happen. Um, Mainly because he may want to acclimatize to 135, maybe have a sort of like a tune-up fight first at 135, or he may just jump right into it and just go straight at either Loma or Devin. I don't know who you will go at, Cambosos, whoever. You know what I mean? It might be Tank. I don't think Tank's gonna take on Shakur, but that would be nice. Because Shakur, man, he is a totally different. I mean, he's a totally different animal. He a different animal, y'all. All right, and now he got savage with him. Like we seen him beat up my boy. What's his name? Jerome Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring knows Shakur can punch. He stopped Jamel Herring. You know what people do need to understand is, and I remember when Bud was knocking out everybody. He wasn't stopping everybody. He wasn't sensational like that. Now he is. And Shakur looked like he gonna go down that same line. He got that nasty streak in him, that mean streak in him. And he be smiling, but he's smiling, but it's a wicked smile. He beating your ass up. You know what I mean? But all in all, Shakur, I really am very impressed with him. Looking at the fight and everything. Um, but I'm also impressed with Concesio. The will to summon yourself, dig deep. He dug deep inside because this guy was on the verge of getting stopped. He dug deep and came back, and they say he's a tough guy. They say he's awkward. I think he's skilled. I don't think he's awkward. I think he's skilled. It just he has skills that cut different kinds of angles. You know what I mean? But good fight, solid fight. Teddy Atlas is just being emotional is the best way to describe Teddy. Teddy's always emotional about things. I think Teddy realizes that Shakur is a threat for Vasily Lomachenko and would beat his ass. So I guess people start to speak negatively almost immediately about somebody who's a threat. And I'm telling you right now, Shakur is a threat to the 135-pound division. He a big threat, a tremendous threat, and y'all don't see that. So that's what I got to say about it. So we got two dragons at 135. We got Devin Haney and we got Shakur Stevenson. And believe you me, ain't nobody wanted to face Devin. I think Shakur would take on Devin. That's one thing. I'm pretty sure Shakur would step up to the challenge and take on Devin next. I think Lomachenko don't want no piece of Devin, no Shakur. All the talking, he could get his old ass beat up by them two. Them two would beat his ass up, okay? If Teofimo Lopez could do that, he ain't nowhere near as good a boxer as them two. Um, Definitely those two will beat him up. Um, them against each other though, that's a fight. That's a fight. That's a big fight. Now whether they want to build it or not, that's a big fight. That's a tremendous fight. I would love to see that fight. It's tactical though, but I would love to see that fight. With respect to uh, uh, so basically what I'm saying is Shakur could have got the guy out there if he had listened to his corner, kept the jab going, and also if he didn't look for that one punch knockout.
I think it was around 8 or 9 or 10, one of them. He started doing that, but he was still mixing it up a bit, but he wasn't throwing as much. So one-sided dominant performance or beatdown. That was definitely a beatdown. But definitely showed us something about Conceição and definitely showed us something about Shakur. Uh, that's all I got to say for now. I am what you need. If you like this channel, don't forget you can subscribe, share, and you can also donate via PayPal. I have not put the link down below, but I promise you guys I will. Okay. Um, you know, when you see special fighters like Shakur and Canelo walking down fighters who are bigger, have longer reach than them, and stuff like that, you really have to really appreciate what you're seeing. But I guess a lot of people don't know shit about boxing, and the ones who know about boxing and know better, they decide to put out their poison, and let the dumbass fans, go with the dumbass thoughts that are in their minds. It is what it is. I didn't expect Teddy Atlas to hate on Shakur like that, but then when I think about it, he is definitely a threat at 135. And I guess he's looking at Loma and he's saying, oh shit, now we got another guy that see Loma as food. I'm going to get you guys later. I'm what you need. Peace.